Hegan Kogan, another political cartoon. This one's pretty interesting, and this cartoon is going to make some strong connections to this one. So we'll go into both of them, and we'll make some connections, and we'll have some other photos to kind of support what it is we're talking about here. But maybe we should start with just some observations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Looks like we've got these two gentlemen here sitting at a table, arm wrestling.
Yep. Reminds me of lunch when I was a kid.
Both of them with fingers on a button.
Yep.
But it looks like this gentleman's button is attached to this man's, what he's sitting on, with the letter H, USA. This one, I would imagine, the wire going down the back, H, USSR.
Wow.
Well, so I'm thinking H meaning hydrogen.
Hydrogen bomb.
These are the new hydrogen bombs.
Right. You even see the thingies on the side and the thruster exhaust
the
system.
more dangerous compared to the atomic bomb.
Yep.
We now have developed the hydrogen bomb.
So I know you get fixated sometimes on dated time periods. So now we're after World War II.
Well after World War II.
Because now the atomic bomb was dropped in 1945 to end World War II, and now we're getting a little bit more sophisticated. Now we're getting into like the 60s.
Mm-hmm. And I would imagine that these are two leaders, and he controls what happens to this.
Sure.
And if you know anything about who controls our nuclear codes, it's the President of the United States.
Right.
And in the 1960s, this is John F. Kennedy.
Yep.
And this is the Premier of Russia,
Nikita
Khrushchev. Once took his shoe off, banged it on a table at the United Nations.
The thing is that they might get that one right, but because you have a Russian name in there, you might get tripped up on it. If you get thrown off by the leaders' names, that's okay. Clearly, they're leaders. They're arm wrestling. You have post World War II.
Mm-hmm.
You can identify United States. You can identify the Soviet Union,
and you have the threat of World War III.
Pretty much, if you have bombs that big, yeah.
If there is going to be a World War III at this point, both of these countries now have the capabilities of destroying mankind.
So after World War II, this Cold War now starts, this rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. And at this point, this is also connected to an event that's similar to here. And we could probably use this cartoon to answer this question, to connect it to here. So when we're looking at this cartoon, you can't escape this huge hand coming out of his chest. And on it says nuclear war.
Smoke coming out, black hand. Kennedy appears to be saying, let's get a lock for this thing, talking to Khrushchev of, hey, let's find a way to avoid this from happening.
So we were both, if you look at these two cartoons, we're both cartoons, we're at a very, very close event where World War III could have happened. And what they're referring to here is the missile crisis. That's what these two political cartoons are getting to. With the missile crisis, what happened was that Cuba was accepting, nuclear ballistic missiles from the Soviet Union, and that becomes a concern to the United States because when we look at these missiles in Cuba is just 90 miles south.
Away.
So
there was a communist revolution in Cuba led by Fidel Castro.
Right.
Cuba is now communist. The Soviet Union is now communist. They've now become allies. Khrushchev and the Soviets look at this as an opportunity to have some clout over the United States. We've got nuclear missiles in Turkey pointed at Moscow. So Khrushchev is like, let's put nuclear missiles in Cuba and point them at the United States.
So of course, how do we find out about these in the pre-drone era? We had U-2 spy planes flying over Cuba that was able to get a lot of these photos to give us an idea of what was going on in Cuba. Once we find that out, then the arm wrestling begins.
Yeah.
Get him out. No.
14 days in October of 1962.
Right.
1962. We were on the verge of World War III.
And we're very, very close to this.
And
might have been 63. Hold on. Don't hold me to that.
No, because he's dead by November of 62.
That's right. Hold
62.
on. Here's the date. There's a date in here somewhere.
62.
No, there's not.
Go back.
Where?
No, go.
Where?
Go.
We go?
No.
This way.
Right, look up.
Oh, there we go.
Come on.
That's
Big,
all right.
Look at the big
That's why
bring
you
on
remember.
Brad.
You remember the dates. I just all right.
So and the events that are leading up to this, there's a standoff. There's a quarantine line. We can't call it a blockade because that is an act of war.
Right.
So we called it a quarantine line. And then if the Soviets cross this line, then we will have to use our military. They get within 75 yards of the line, and they stopped. They stopped their ships. They turned around. They went home. They dismantled everything.
When you're looking at either one of these cartoons, this is the closest we ever came to World War III. This is the closest we ever came to a nuclear war. And these are the two popular cartoons that go along with that 13 days, that crisis.
Cuban Missile Crisis.
Good. We're good. We need anything else?
Negative.
Great photos.
I'm gonna teach.
Thanks for watching.